Live from the Overthrow Bunker and FEMA Region 9, you're listening to The Pete Show.
Okay, now listen, if you are a member of the TI community, okay, and listen, if you want to call me and tell me that, for 20 years you've been a TI, I love you with all my heart. But you could potentially, if you're not in a desperate situation, be putting somebody else's life in jeopardy. The telephone number you're going to call, and this is temporarily, I have to be able to field these calls, all right? 760-686-6403. Until you get another telephone number, you call me and you say, Pete, I feel like I lost all hope. You call me, I'll put you in contact with somebody. Kenny takes telephone calls, and I'm going to go to Kenny right now. Kenny, you get telephone calls from the TIs. Okay, you will accept the telephone calls, and you're going to deal with it accordingly, and you do it with your entire. I hope that I haven't embarrassed you by how I've conducted myself to try to grab the bull by the horns. But I'm going to say this: what Myron May did, Kenny, it has been harmful. Okay, we don't even know if he believed that he was a TI. We, unfortunately, now that he's gone, are not able to establish that. We know that there's enough evidence. We can conspiracy theorize. We know the technology exists. We know that the technology exists to even cause him to do that. Speak into his head. We know that exists. But now that he's gone, he's worth nothing to us, and he's not served the TI community well. If you in the TI community want to commit suicide, you are abandoning humanity. We want you to stay with us and teach us what's been done to you. Let's put you through a process to convey who's been stalking you. Let's document things. Let's build this community and get it very well documented, get the resources we need to make sure that we as a people come together, share the information, save lives to the best of our ability. Do not take your life. You are abandoning us. Do not take another innocent's life. You'll be abandoning us and betraying the entire community of individuals, including myself, that are trying to defeat this very, very evil system. Kenny, I hope that through my conduct, I've not embarrassed you because you brought me into this thing, and I hope I haven't embarrassed you. And if you disagree with anything that I suggested or said, say so now or forever hold your peace.
Oh, no, not at all, Pete. I mean, we need to do something. Each individual TI needs to do something. I watched Deborah Tavares go to that city council meeting and say, she said, Americans are being targeted by other Americans, and she said it very bluntly, and she did it by herself now. And I know she's a better speaker than most people. Most people don't want to feel like they can do that. But if you can do it by yourself, take 2 or 3 with you. If you go speak to the sheriff's department, don't go by yourself. Take 5 TI and say, this is what's going on. Yeah. That way, I think they're going to have a hard time locking up 5 people.
Yeah. Yeah, no. We the people can come together. Now, here's my final comment to you, and then we're going to go down the list here and make sure that everybody speaks their piece here. Okay, Kenny, when we went to Bundy Ranch, okay, did we speak in steak and potatoes language, and did we go there and say, "Oh, could you please kindly give us the cattle back and free us"? Would you say that we must tackle this thing in the same exact spirit, whether it be Bundy Ranch or protesters and peaceful people in Ferguson or anywhere, that we must take our system back with absolute determination, and it's non-freaking negotiable, that we're willing to put our lives on the line in this spirit?
Absolutely. If you're a coward and you're a TI, then you might as well just go in the corner and stay there, because if you don't do anything, you're allowing them to do what they want to do to you. That's all I can say.
That's right.
You hear me? You heard when we was on the trip. You know how many phone calls I got from people. You seen me?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I absolutely do. Directly from TIs, directly from the TIs, and you don't have an assistant that fields the calls for you. You take them from you directly. Now, I'm taking it upon myself to do this right now because I believe that we must absolutely be there for somebody like Myron May. Just like Robert Duncan said, and I'm going to go to Neil. Robert Duncan, you heard his voice when he said we need to be able to catch people in time. That's what we're shooting for at this point in time. Some people have progressed to the point we won't be able to catch them. That is a fact behind this, but we must make an effort right now to do everything we can to make sure that somebody like Myron May gets the appropriate help and they're not turned over to the Obamacare people, right?
That is true, and we have so many things in the works that have to be financed, and one of the visions was to be able to outfit field service vehicles that run on hydrogen and have some shielding and protection capabilities to send our field service people out and run these cars on water to keep our overhead low.
Yeah.
Help finance us, we'll do the work.
Yeah. So if you have the financial resources, we're of course we're wanting to of course get the proper financing to build this thing up, but we as a people can do that. Whether it be, hey, we need to rebuild our economy because it collapsed, we have to do that, folks. You're not going to sit at home on the internet and say, well, maybe somebody else will do it for me. We as a people need to do this thing. So if you're a member of the TI community, you're not feeling, like you're alone, you're part of a great community. Start focusing your efforts on helping to obtain the financing we need to build this thing out and to take control back of our system. Maybe build a website, share your story. We will have the ability. I was just thinking about that too. I need to make a note real quick. Okay. You need an outlet to speak to people. All right. I will have a telephone system put in place to where once that number is put out, Derek, if you don't mind, I'm just going to, before I get to you, you're going to be one of the last ones to speak here. But Derek, can you commit that once we get that telephone number set up and we have a live person, multiple live people to answer that, will you publish that on FFCHS? I'll do so on Guerrilla Media Network and all of our other channels. Can you do that?
Well, yes. Yes,
Okay.
Absolutely. Everyone that calls our hotline should be able to speak directly to an individual.
Okay, fantastic. So we will have that here before midnight tonight. You'll be able to dial a telephone number. If you go to Freedom FCHS, if you go to Guerrilla Media Network, .com, gmn.is, we will have those numbers published everywhere. If I have to put it in every single episode of the Pete Santilli Show, you will have a telephone number and an email that will go to people that are going to be immediately responsive to it. And if you're somebody, and Myron May, I'm going to say this, that your circumstances were very tragic. And, man, I feel almost emotional when I say this, but I'm not going to get emotional. This is what I'll say, Myron May, that you will not have died in vain. Okay? It's, I'm not going to put you on a pedestal. I'm going to say that you made a grave mistake by taking it upon yourself without the mental health capacity to make decisions on your own. What you've done is harmful, but through your example, through what we're going to learn through your example, we're going to take corrective action to make sure that somebody like you does not cause the harm that you've caused at this point in time. But in that very positive sense, we're going to go forward. Oh, I need to reconnect my line here. Stand by. Ladies and gentlemen, stand by. If you want to call in, final commentary to 218-862-9829.
Insider Club Conference.
There we go. Okay.
Wow.
We have just final moments here. Let's go to, if you don't mind, just a couple of minutes. I need quick commentary from those that are standing by on the line. 617 area code. What is your first name and quick comment? You have to get it out. Otherwise, I have to cut you off.
Mr. Santilli, back to my name, Massachusetts, and we were out going to get the word out. There's a time again. Let's all unite to defend Congress.
Let's do that. Your telephone line is breaking up really bad. It might be mine, and I apologize for that. Anonymous caller, what's your first name and quick comment? Very quickly, or I have to cut you off. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is Brian. Hi, this is Brian, too, in Colombia, South America.
Brian, quick comment. Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, what they're doing is I was in Russia. I was in Cuba. I've been throughout Europe, Central South America. This is global. And, there's no escaping this.
Here's your comment very quick. Is this the most important topic of conversation, the most important, urgent thing going on in the entire world, period? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Brian, Thank you very much for calling in. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for standing by. Deborah, very quickly, we have just a couple minutes here. Deborah, what's your comment? Very quickly.
Hi, Pete. I want to thank you so much for what you're doing. And I did
also went in front of my city council by myself and told them about all of this, and they sat and laughed at me. So thank you so much for what
and I praise you for your courage in doing so. I praise you for your courage. Stand tall. And we have to be very cautious about that as well. Depending on how far advanced a TI is, if you say the wrong things, it will give them justification and the excuse to take you off the street. Whether or not a police officer has that knowledge and intention of doing that, the system is set up to have you removed from the street, not get this information out, and have you institutionalized. So do it with courage, but with caution. Right, Deborah?
I did not personalize it. I only made it about what was happening.
That's a great suggestion.
Yeah, I did not personalize it at all.
That's a great suggestion, that there needs to be a mechanism by which TIs can communicate their stuff out in the open without fear of being wiped out by men in the white coats, right?
That's right.
That's right. Fantastic. Thank you very much, Deborah. All right, listen, we have 5 minutes here. Let's go 2.5 minutes to Derek, if we would. Derek.
Okay, well, I agree that there needs to be a mechanism by which TIs can file a complaint, make their concerns known to an official who will take action and remedy their situation. That's basically what we're here.
Awesome. Do you think that even in my bull in the china shop steak and potatoes, sometimes very, very rough way, Derek, I'll let you have the final word here, is anything I said or suggested, I may be wrong or right. I'm just looking to get us together, pointed in the right direction towards goodness. Is anything I said in this conversation out of line or inappropriate or not the right thing to do?
Okay, it was fine, Pete. I think it's important. The voicemail line is our first line of contact with people generally, and we need to be able to reach them ideally one-to-one, from person to person. And that is really a major goal. I mean, that's where Kenny came from. That is where Neil came from. This voice line is a major lifeline for many individuals.
Yes.
We need to have a live person there. Absolutely.
So we're going to work towards that and use that with caution and care. If you don't have an urgent situation, and you can call and leave a message, of course, we'll have that secondary level, of course. Let's do this. I'm going to actually pause. We're going to end without music. We're going to end with final commentary. Renee Mitchell. Sometimes I'm like a bull in a china shop, okay? And I think you're a pretty direct person yourself. Is there anything that I've suggested as a outsider to the TI community, as a lay person, that I said that is not necessary for us to take action on, especially in light of what happened with Myron May?
Absolutely not. I think you're on point. I think you're providing direction as we continue to understand what direction will be most effective to help to save lives. And I will ask our listeners within the United States and all over the world to understand that we are not playing. The time is now for full disclosure of this heinous technological reality that has destroyed many lives for decades, sadly. Know that we are wide awake now of many realities today. We will not be denied nor allow the truth to be denied or silenced. This victory is ours.
You are such a beautiful soul, Renee. I'm so glad that we, and I said, it's very appropriate to say that it's unfortunate, it's tragic that Myron May took it upon himself to do what he did. And we're going to call it out and say that it was very, very wrong and very detrimental, in fact, to the TI community to associate such a decision to the TI community is to demonize an entire population. But you know what? That's not going to stop us from doing the right thing to find another Myron May. In the spirit of what he attempted to do, to turn this into a positive thing, to go out and find somebody, let them know that they should not lose all hope, that if they truly are a spiritual person, that God will direct them towards a group of people like us that are going to help them and turn this into a positive situation for all humanity, right?
Right.
Yep.
Well said.
Yep. Thank you so much. I'm glad we connected, ladies and gentlemen. There is nothing And I mean nothing more important than this topic right here, right now. There's nothing more important than this, that everything that is happening in the world to us, whether it be through mind control subtly, through mainstream manipulation, mainstream media manipulation, through the lies that are allowed to be propagated in the political sector, through the police state that is actually utilizing, and they're told that it's for the purposes of fighting terrorism. They don't even know that they're using this stuff to control our population with an agenda, I believe, that is ultimately to enslave us. We must free ourselves from the chains of this enslavement. We can do so, but we must not be stripped of our individuality. We must, as individuals, be spiritual beings, determined we can take this place back together. Good day, everybody. Great show. Bye, everybody.
RadiationDefender.com, your source for the Health Ranger's most important product to date, Cesium Eliminator. Developed by food science researcher Mike Adams, this patent-pending proprietary formula of zeolites and other ingredients called Cesium Eliminator helps support your body's natural elimination of lethal cesium isotopes. Visit RadiationDefender.com and discover why Cesium Eliminator is designed to stop irradiating your body from the inside out by removing cesium-137, a cancer-causing radioactive isotope which will contaminate our soil for the next 200 to 300 years. After Fukushima, Fear Potion potassium iodide salesmen rode the plume and sold products which absolutely nothing rid the body of harmful radiation after this nuclear disaster. If you are interested in removing cesium from your body, throw away your potassium iodide and replace it immediately with Cesium Eliminator. Go to RadiationDefender.com and order your supply today.
Hi, this is Pete Santilli, host of the Pete Santilli Show right here on GMN. GMN publishes a weekly newsletter called the GMN Rant you can subscribe to by visiting GorillaMediaNetwork.com/rant. The GMN Rant is filled with highlights and analysis of the week's major news, as well as our inside perspective that you're not going to find anywhere in alternative media. As one of our valued subscribers, you not only get a copy of the GMN Rant delivered to your email every Monday morning, your $5 monthly subscription gets you access to our private group team chat, access to our private Facebook group, exclusive discounts on products offered in our GMN store, insider access to sponsor giveaways and drawings, access to our monthly GMN team conference calls, and a 50% discount on GMN University tutorials that we're producing right now. So sign up by going to GorillaMediaNetwork.com/rant. Your monthly support gets you great benefits, but it goes a long way in keeping us independent and listener supported.
GMN is giving the finger to the NSA.
We saw, he died.